The MoneroTopia weekly news segment is sponsored by WizardSwap.io, a non-custodial cryptocurrency exchange.
Tony.
Hey guys, happy weekend.
Happy weekend, Tony.
Happy weekend, Tony. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, man. Living the Monero dream. How you doing?
Good. It's been getting hot in Florida for February. I thought I was gonna enjoy the cold weather for a bit more, but I guess not. But
oh yeah, it's warm
it's
now.
nice. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's nice. Yeah. We have a lot of good stuff to talk about this week.
A lot of news. Take it away.
So first thing is Scan has a new feature called Cards that gives any ETH wallet a credit score. So let's actually go on etherscan.io and let's pick a wallet. Let's say this. Actually, no. Let's pick this one. It's not here actually. Give me 1 second. Let's try a different one. Let's do this address. There we go. Cards. So we picked an address and I did test it before a little bit. Some don't show the credit score and some do. Let me try a different one. Let's do I don't know.
If you pull up Vitalik.eth, you can actually see Vitalik's score.
Oh, really? Okay. I'll check that in a second. There we go. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, this one's bad.
This one is bad.
Naughty.
Yeah, I kind of tested it before, and they were all low, moderate. Some had some attestations. This one is just thin file. Wow. Interesting.
Wait, what does that mean? Thin file? Is it just not enough data for them to give it a good score? Type in Vitalik.eth. His is actually not as good as you would think it would be.
Let's see.
Oh, yes, we love Cloudflare CAPTCHA. Amazing.
I'm going to do a CAPTCHA
Incredible.
in a second. Oh. Okay, so...
Oh, and then if you click on the resolved address.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you can go to cards.
Cards. Okay, let's see. Low, okay. 189 attestations.
His is okay. He gets a 657, and notice how they numbered it like it's an actual credit score. Like the numbering's like I think 800 is like the highest or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's literally like replicating a credit score in like the rating system and everything. So
yeah, that's very messed up. I went for a couple wallets, and then most of them are low. I've never seen so far anyone that is ultra low or very low. Most of them are moderate or low. I wanted to see an ultra high one, but I couldn't find one. But it's so messed up. I can see exactly how much Ethereum he has, how much money. I have a credit score. Like what's the point? Just that it's on a blockchain. That's pretty much it. It's insane. And actually, some people are cheering for it. I think, let's see, if we go on X. This guy said, Etherscan's new cards feature is pretty cool. It's not pretty cool. People like you is what's wrong with crypto nowadays. Yes, I agree. Like, it's no longer a revolution from a long, long time ago. And then let's go to this article. So CBP ramps up ASIC miner crackdown. So the reason, yes, Monero has privacy, but it has other features as well, such as being ASIC resistance. And if the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, they're not gonna go and seize your AMD or Intel or whatever chip you have. But if they're gonna see an ASIC, well, they probably will. And they broaden the scope of its scrutiny to target MicroBT and Canaan ASICs as well. I think also, let's see, also Bitmain. And Bitmain is the largest producer of Bitcoin mining units in the world, dominating roughly 80% of the ASIC market. So, and they're confiscating specifically, let's see, They're detaining these units because they contain AI chips from the now trade restricted chip company Subco. And yeah, it's Bitcoin is centralized and Monero is not. And that's the beauty of being truly decentralized. Yeah. Then we have Jack Mallers and Jack Dorsey discussing the privacy coin that cannot be named. When these people talk about privacy coins, they just don't say the word Monero. They just talk around, they talk about it, but they never actually say the word. So let's watch this.
For the rest of them, the altcoins, I mean, I think there's probably some that started with the right ideals. Like there's some more
Like what?
like more privacy focused coins, and like, you know, they saw problems with Bitcoin in terms of privacy, and some saw problems in terms of security. And for the rest of them,
So that's just 20 seconds out of the whole interview / podcast. I'm not sure if he actually said Monero, but it does seem like every single time they talk about privacy coins, they just avoid the Monero word. And
I mean, you
I
know
don't know.
exactly what they're talking about. There's realistically only one, maybe two coins they could actually be talking about, and you know they're talking about primarily Monero. It's undeniable.
I think they don't want to say that word to not be associated with it, like, because he seems to kind of be pro.
Well, Jack Mallers is he's kind of a sort of like a Bitcoin maxi, but also he created Strike, which is like a custodial service. So he's kind of like a banker in a way.
Yes. Yep. I remember a couple of years ago when he was being interviewed and somebody called him Jack Baller. That's interesting. But yeah. So every single time they just avoid saying the word Monero, but we all know what they're actually talking about. Now, last week we talked about El Salvador and how Bitcoin is no longer a legal tender. And now we're going to talk about landlords in El Salvador who are not only refusing to accept Bitcoin, even if it is auto-converted to USD, they seem also to be rejected tenants who use Bitcoin at all. And two people in Paradise wrote on X, when will the Bitcoin community look in the mirror and ask, where did we go wrong? So this is a WhatsApp text. And it says, due to the change in monetary policy in El Salvador, it is no longer possible to receive Bitcoin as rent payment, only cash or bank transfer. We regret an inconvenience this may cause you. We have another one. I'll have to speak to a bank representative because they no longer accept transfers to bank accounts from Bitcoin. And let's see. I saw some interesting comments on this. Let's see. Yeah, but it's interesting how they're rejecting not only Bitcoin but Bitcoiners as well. And it's just how quickly things changed. And I think somebody said in the comments on this that they mostly attracted just people with selfie sticks than a true revolution. So I thought that was funny. Then shopping bit payment stats are in, and Paul Yonovich said on X, the flipping already occurred, at least in terms of digital cash, not only on the darknet, whose users have their life/freedom at stake, but also on the regular internet. Next step, a true circular economy, also offline. And if we take a look, Monero is at 56.3%, Bitcoin is at 42.9%, Lightning Network 0.4%, and Fiat is 0.4%. So Monero payments are roaring again on ShopInBit and across different platforms as well. Monero is just at the top. So that's very awesome and good to see. Then, yeah, we kind of, Doug's buddy and they kind of discussed this before with Doug. Officials within the Trump administration have said that President Trump is considering returning to the US dollar back to gold standard. This would allow US currency to be directly exchanged for gold. This would be incredible, in my opinion, Adam said on X. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. I don't think this is going to happen. but I guess we'll see. Then we have this amazing post from BRunner7 on Reddit. He wrote more vitamins for Monero with Carrot, part 1 overview. And you guys have all the links, so you can go and check it out. But he basically talks about the future of Monero and the next Monero Hardfork. And he said, and I'm going to read a bit from it because it's very, very interesting and important. So he said, why this post? A lot of interesting things go on right now in Monero development, but if you don't happen to attend the 2 regular dev meetings on Mondays and Wednesdays or hang around in some of our matrix rooms, you probably wouldn't know much about it. I only recently became fully aware of this and noticed that people building software on top of the Monero core, software, especially wallet apps, often don't seem to be fully informed either what is coming. And this may have unfortunate consequences. And then he said, that's why I decided to write this post about Carrot, which is mostly flying under the radar so far, but will bring solid improvements to Monero users. I plan to make this the first post of a little series containing an overview with later posts giving more details about individual important aspects. So he talked a little bit about what's going to happen. So the next Monero Hardfork, if all goes to plan, and it currently looks as if it will, the next Monero Hardfork will bring the largest changes in the underlying technology since RingCT was introduced way back in 2017 and implemented hidden transaction amounts. A technology with the acronym FCMP++ will bring a decisive step up in sender privacy. So, and this is crazy and amazing, but until now, if you spend Monero, you hide among 15 other people doing so. With FCMP++, you hide among all the people who ever did an XMR transaction since Monero's genesis in 2014. That's incredible and crazy to think about just how much stronger Monero is going to get with each hard fork. Also, the estimate that the hard fork will take place in roughly a year from now, give or take a few months. Besides FCMP++, a second important new technology called Carrot will be part of Monero. That's a new so-called addressing protocol that will supersede the current addressing protocol that is part of CryptoNode, the technology that Monero inherited when it forked the cryptocurrency called Bitcoin in 2014. The lead designer of Carrot is a seasoned Monero dev, Jeffro256. The name Carrot is a clever acronym of CryptoNode address on re-randomizable RingCT output transactions, but a considerable amount of cryptographical knowledge is needed to fully understand what this means, specifically the re-randomizable in there. The full view only wallets. He talks about full view only wallets, forward secrecy.
Forward secrecy is really awesome.
Yeah. So I think I can hear myself from somebody. Maybe
me.
Yeah, could be. Okay, I think it's good now. Forward secrecy. That's so basically. He said, I will try to explain in more detail in a later post what that means. Thus, here only a quick and simplified explanation. Thanks to forward secrecy for transactions done using Carrot, even a fully working quantum computer won't be able to break their privacy in many important scenarios. Carrot picks some pretty sweet low-hanging fruit, so to say, because quantum computing is going to be a problem in the future. Full backwards compatibility. So just a lot of stuff. I highly recommend you guys go over and read this post on the Reddit forum.
Carrot's super cool. And Jeffro is super awesome for putting so much work into it. And yeah, like the next hard fork is going to be... Did they say that this is also coming in the next hard fork, which will also have FC and P++? So I think both of these are combined? Because I didn't remember the exact timeline on that.
Yeah, from what it looks like, it does seem like it. He's gonna post a lot more about these things, but it's just such big changes, incredible, such big changes.
Yeah, super huge. Will be really cool.
So I kind of wonder, the authorities are gonna be so pissed off about this change because it's gonna be just so much harder to break into Monero. And yeah, it's incredible how it evolves over time. Then this one was, I was kind of shocked, kind of not, I don't know. Plan B wrote on X, disclosure, I have transferred my Bitcoin to ETFs. Yes, I know, not your keys, not your coin, but it is just easier for me to manage Bitcoin in the same way as equities and bonds. Also, not having to hassle with keys gives me peace of mind. I guess I'm not a max anymore. Yeah, so definitely Bitcoin is not spendable money. That's been abandoned for sure. I guess now it's just something that you hold like an ETF, like an equity that you just hope that it goes up. Except based on what? Just the fact that it goes up and Michael Saylor knocks on people's door to buy it, to buy into it. But Vic said, is this a new low for the self-proclaimed Bitcoiners? Not your keys, not your coin. That's the whole fucking reason Bitcoin was created. Control your own money in a decentralized way. Yeah, since the inception of Bitcoin, today is just a whole different beast.
It's kind of a mask off moment. Kind of like lost the plot, you know? This totally just like, oh yeah, it's just like it's easier to like make money if I just put into an ETF instead.
But
I didn't say that directly, but it's kind of implied.
Buddy said, Plan B is the same guy who created one of the most invalid regression analysis of Bitcoin price and continues to push stock to flow. Yeah, I read a little bit about that. Yeah, and it's just sometimes I'm just thinking about Michael Saylor, and whenever he buys, he has so much Bitcoin. It's so crazy what he's doing, and the fact that I think one day it's all going to collapse, and now he's just knocking the door off Microsoft, all these big corporations trying to buy into his delusion. Yeah, it's crazy. Now let's talk about the Roomba vacuums, which they were caught leaking photos. Dude,
this is some Black Mirror type shit.
Yeah, let's watch this one.
Roomba is being charged with leaking intimate pictures of individuals in their own home. There are leaked pictures of a woman sitting on a toilet, and these pictures have been taken by Roomba vacuums. Robot maker iRobot confirmed that sensitive images leaked online were taken by its devices. It shows the capabilities and it shows the ability to leak this type of information. So if these units can take pictures of you sitting on the toilet,
and they can take video.
So clearly what this means is that anybody who owns a Roomba, your pictures are being stored somewhere on the cloud, and they have the ability to be leaked everywhere. Your children, you, it could be when you're in the toilet, it could be when you're taking a shower, it could be you in the bathroom, it could be anything that you consider sensitive and private information. iRobot, which is the maker of Roomba, is clearly violating privacy, and their infrastructure is clearly vulnerable to being leaked. Roomba is being charged.
I never had one. I was thinking about getting one at some point, but I'm definitely not gonna.
It's like the Ring camera issue, but even worse because it's inside of your house instead of being outside.
Yeah.
That has to be like such a CIA Mossad honeypot.
Yeah.
For like blackmail.
Yeah, that one is just. But I don't know. I kind of didn't see the point in them anyway. I just clean in the weekend once, very good, and that's it. And I sweep a little bit during the week if I have to. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like they're more burdened than not because if they, I've seen examples of where they like a dog will take a dump and then the vacuum like actually spreads it around and makes it worse. A little room.
Oh.
And like their maintenance, you have to clean it. You have to like, it's like, why not just vacuum once every other day? Are you really that lazy that you can't do that? I mean, some people have very little time, but it's kind of like, I think I've always seen it as like a silly thing. But yeah, taking pictures and then storing it on a database that's like not end-to-end encrypted with keys or anything is crazy, man. That's crazy.
JK said no camera, tape over the lens. Yeah, but if you put a tape over the lens, it's not going to know where it goes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a few super chats here. Let me pull these up real quick.
Yep.
Relevant Peter McCormack tipped 50 cents. Do you see Plan B's tweet today regarding banning self-custody? Yep, we did. We covered that. Thank you, sir. Frank Castle tipped $2. Thank you. Sheldon tipped 98 cents. Is there a way to view the Monero Reddit via a proxy akin to xcancel for Twitter? Reddit blocks VPN connections. Yeah, you can use what's called Redlib. I actually host one myself. It might not be working at this very moment. But if you look up Redlib, there is a public instance list. I'll check to see if mine's working later today. And that lets you view Reddit without like having to use the official website that blocks like VPNs and stuff. Benevolent Peen tipped 50 cents. People who connect their toaster to the internet are the kind of no internal dialogue NPCs you read about. Lol.
That's funny. Yeah, thank you guys so much for the tips. Jackie said, "Get a broom." Bah, lol. Yeah, I mean, for me, even like it's just a lazy way to clean anyway. Besides all this craziness, like if you clean, you're first going to get the dust off. It's gonna fall on the floor, and by the time this thing moves around the house, and then I want to use the mop, unless I strap it on a boosted board and on the bottom of it, and I just or if it goes like 30 miles an hour or something, 30 or I don't know. It's I just yeah.
Is that
But
it for the
it's
news, or do
crazy.
we have any more?
Yeah, we have just 4 more.
No, okay.
So yeah, let's talk about Reuters. So they wrote a hit piece against Doge. Musk tweets, "I wonder what Reuters are being paid." And then Doge uncovers Department of Defense contract paying Reuters for large-scale social deception. So there we have the Reuters article. Musk's Doge cuts based more on political ideology than real cost savings so far. Then we have Musk retweeting and saying, "I wonder how much money Reuters is getting from the government. Let's find out." And then I guess they found out that they revealed mysterious Defense Department payments to Reuters for large-scale social deception project between 2018 and 2022. While DARPA claims it was for cyber defense, questions swirl about why news agencies receives millions for social engineering. And I guess this is the U.S. spending from DoD to Reuters. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, at this point, it should be known that you shouldn't trust any news organization. They're just trying to push somebody's propaganda and make money off of it. Then let's see. So kind of talking about good talk today. Thanks, Frank. Thank you guys so much for watching. But if you haven't liked, please give a like, give a share. It does help us a lot. So now that we kind of talked about the Roomba and then posting pictures of people online, which is very unbelievably messed up. Now let's talk about the biometrics on your iPhone. And I think this is in the US. I'm not sure. I tried looking into it, but I see point C, unlocking devices with biometric features. And essentially, during the execution of the warrant, law enforcement personnel are authorized to obtain, basically force you to use your face to open your phone or biometrics to open your phone, and then they can look into your phone for whatever they want to look. But somebody said, let's see, set your iPhone to unlock with PIN only. You have a Fifth Amendment right to not reveal your PIN code. You have no Fifth Amendment right to your face or fingerprint. They are considered public information. It's okay to use biomarkers for payments, purchases, and log in to remote systems. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I have a comment on that. Like in regards to iPhones, I don't remember. I think there's some way if you can get it to prevent biometrics. Maybe if you fail too many times, you can prevent it from working until you type in the PIN. But especially on Android, there's a lockdown mode, and this exists on standard Android, where you can enable it in the settings, and if you hold down the power button, that gives you an option called lockdown. If you press lockdown, it prevents the phone from being unlocked with fingerprint sensor, right? And on Graphene OS, now you can require that the phone has to have a PIN and biometrics to be unlocked. So you can do kind of a double security. But if you reboot either an iPhone or an Android, if you just reboot the phone, like if you just turn it off, in order to turn it back on, you have to put in the PIN, because the PIN is literally required to unlock the home directory. It's required in combination with an encryption key. to decrypt your home directory and your files. So if you just turn the phone off, then biometrics can't be used.
Yes, and actually I kind of did a test on an iPhone pleb, unfortunately. But if you just click on the volume up, I'm going to test it right now again, volume up, and then shut down button just for like 2 seconds. It's going to say slide to power off, but you click cancel. And yeah, requires me to enter my PIN. So no, Face ID doesn't work.
It's like a safety mode.
Yeah, so
It's even scarier on iPhone too, because and that's why I really don't like Face ID, is because it's too easy to unlock the phone with Face ID. At least with a fingerprint scanner, you gotta like be intentional with it, but with the Face ID, you just take a glance at your phone, boom, it's unlocked. So
yeah, and you can just put the phone in somebody's face and it's gonna unlock it. It's kind of harder to get their thumb and like, whatever, and put it on the phone. But also, like, I was wondering, if you have the Face ID enabled and then you disable it, is it still going to constantly use the camera for clues?
No, I don't think so.
Because it's like kind of like if you have Siri enabled, it's like constantly listening in the background, but I think it's still constantly listening in the background, regardless if I have Siri off, for example. So I have to like actually click on a button. I don't know. That's I don't know. But we have two more things. Yeah. JD Vance went to the Munich conference, and I think to the Paris conference too. And then he was just ripping European leaders to their faces about criminalizing for free speech. So let's watch this. It's 2 minutes, and then we have one more, and that's it, guys.
I look to Brussels, where EU commissars warn citizens that they intend to shut down social media during times of civil unrest the moment they spot what they've judged to be, quote, hateful content. Or to this very country, where police have carried out raids against citizens suspected of posting anti-feminist comments online as part of, quote, combating misogyny on the internet, a day of action. I look to Sweden, where 2 weeks ago the government convicted a Christian activist for participating in Koran burnings that resulted in his friend's murder. And as the judge in his case chillingly noted, Sweden's laws to supposedly protect free expression do not, in fact, grant, and I'm quoting, a free pass to do or say anything without risking offending the group that holds that belief. And perhaps most concerningly, I look to our very dear friends, the United Kingdom, where the backslide away from conscience rights has placed the basic liberties of religious Britons in particular in the crosshairs. A little over 2 years ago, the British government charged Adam Smith Connor, a 51-year-old physiotherapist and an Army veteran, with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes. Not obstructing anyone, not interacting with anyone, just silently praying on his own. And after British law enforcement spotted him and demanded to know what he was praying for, Adam replied simply, it was on behalf of the unborn son he and his former girlfriend had aborted years before. Now, the officers were not moved. Adam was found guilty of breaking the government's new buffer zones law, which criminalizes silent prayer and other actions that could influence a person's decision within 200 meters of an abortion facility. He was sentenced to pay thousands of pounds in legal costs to the prosecution. Now, I wish I could say that this was a fluke, a one-off crazy example of a badly written law being enacted against a single person. But no, this last October, just a few months ago, the Scottish government began distributing letters to citizens whose houses lay within so-called safe access zones, warning them that even private prayer within their own homes may amount to breaking the law. Naturally, the government urged readers to report any fellow citizens suspected guilty of thought crime. In Britain and across Europe, free speech, I fear, is in retreat.
Yeah, it's just, besides all the stuff that he talked about in this video, I've heard of other scenarios and things that happen in the UK and Australia and other European countries. And it just makes my head just want to explode. Like these things are just so stupid. Like this thing with the prayer that you can't pray, and the 200-meter and all these things. It's just insanity. And I haven't looked into it. And I guess you can't pray even within your home. And it kind of just makes me think of the Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. And he said in one part that you can basically just pray to God, but only in your head. So only you and God can hear. But in the UK, you can even do that. That's a crime as well. So yeah, it's just I don't even know what to say about this stuff, because it's just insane, nonsensical. But yeah. And last thing, I don't know much I don't have much to say about this one. Don't give me this one, but they kill Epstein to burn down the old blackmail system. Peter Thiel, Mossad does it all digitally now. They made Biden Kamala the manufactured problem, so Trump and technocrats could save everyone. They're firing the bureaucrats so they can replace people with AI. Meanwhile, the private sector is lining up all the pieces to bring about global digital communism under an AI-powered government. Yeah, I really think that we're going towards a digital communism, essentially, a very aggressive digital communism. In communism, at least, they weren't really getting all this information about you while you were in your house. But now it's possible for all these devices, all the spying on you, and they can just get so much information about you. And now, like in the UK and other places, you just tweet or put a Facebook post something that they don't like, and you can just go to jail, which is, it's beyond me.
Gotta automate it as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, people forget that Epstein wasn't acting alone. I mean, he was acting as part of a larger sex blackmail ring. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like sometimes I just think, like the parents of these evil people, like if they are benevolent themselves, maybe they're sometimes thinking, what have I been born into this world? My son is crazy. But yeah, guys,
they're lizard people. They've been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, like it's
A
like
word for the lizard people.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be totally shocked if that were the truth. It does feel like some of these evil people have been around longer than the rest of us.
I can just think of, I don't know, like Stalin's mom or like Hitler's mom, and they can just think,
Jesus
what the
Christ.
fuck did I just give birth to? And then these people on, I guess, a smaller scale, but still evil people.
Mentioning Peter Thiel is interesting, because if JD Vance is also like basically a product of Peter Thiel and Palantir, and Palantir is co-founded by Peter Thiel, which is kind of like a front to the CIA. They're a digital forensics company, and they do the stuff that the CIA isn't allowed to do directly because of the Constitution.
They built Minority Report.
Yep.
And
Yep.
sold it to the U.S. government.
UTXO said, does Gary Gensler just happen to look exactly like John Law, or is it the same reptoid? Do they look alike? I can see it a little bit, yeah. I guess they may be in the same reptoid family, yeah. Frank said, same people in the UK as in 1776. Fuck them.
Did you bring up his tip? I don't know if you brought up his comment.
No, I missed that. Let's see.
Oh.
Neela's tipped $22. Closed source software means no privacy. Don't use iPhones, MacBooks, Windows, and the like if you want privacy. That article on disabling biometrics on iPhones is misleading. The whole point, your data goes to software companies, which are go with proxies. What data? Like your biometrics? I don't actually believe that the biometrics data leaves iPhones. But, I mean, I'm still, obviously, I'm totally like about trying to use everything open source as possible. Yeah. But open source it's not the end all be all. But I am like use as much open source as possible. And if it's like, if open source is the best option, then of course you should use it, right? So.
Yeah. And I would want to quote Linus, and that's it for this week. Linus Torvalds said one time, on computer is like air conditioning. It becomes useless when you open Windows. That was really funny. Well, yeah, guys, so this was this week's news section. Please give us a like, share, and we'll see you next week.